Let's learn how program assessment works in AccuTrack or AccuSQL. Program assessment are entry and exit level grades that you can enter into the system via an import or manually. Then you can run various reports to look at the success of your center based on the students that have visited. Based on how many visits they've come into the center, you can determine if their grades have improved, thus showing the effectiveness of your center. Grades are entered through program assessment here, and then I can look at program assessment, and it shows my various courses. So we'll take a look at math classes here. So what I'm looking at is a calculus class. I have 4 students that are enrolled or registered for that class, and then I can enter their grades manually for the class. Now, an entry grade can be whatever entry grade you determine. It can be the midterm, an initial grade, so however you want to handle that, and then a final grade as you determine it. So I'm just going to pick a student here, move them over, and give them an entry grade of whatever I'd like. Let's just say a C+. I save that, and then I can give a final grade for one or more students as well. And then what I can do is look at the grades that are entered for this class. So as you can see, I have 2 students that have grades. David here has an entry grade and a final grade, and his change is upward from a C+ to a B+. Mike Nassman has no entry grade, so we can go enter that for him if we'd like. And then I can look again. So now Mike started with a C, ended up with a B+, his change is upward as well. So that's how you can manually assign grades to students. Now it's a lot easier if you do it with an import. So I have an import file here with College Algebra 2 math class and English Composition 1 class. So I'm going to go ahead and import that information. I'll pick the file from my desktop. Okay, and I'll import that into my grades table here. So there's a preview of my file. So then I map my various fields. Here's my category. Here's my activity ID, my activity name, the student ID, and then I can do grade first and last. Now typically you do a first grade and then later on do your final grade, but you can do both if you'd like. So I'll go ahead and finish that. So now I have entry grades for my various students. If I go look at my program assessment, it'll only show entry grades for those students for my math class, and it was Math 115. So I can see I have my first grades for those various students. Now let's go ahead and import the final grades. Let's say now, it's the end of the term and I want to import that again with just my final grade. Okay, so now I have entry and exit grades for those students for those 2 classes, the math class and the English class. So now I can see the various changes. Some students have gone up, some have gone down based on my initial grade and my final grade. And the same thing for my English class. So now that I have my grades in my system, I can run various reports on them. The first one I have is an assessment report here. I run that, and it opens in Excel. So it shows me the students who have gotten an initial grade of whatever it is and a final grade of whatever with total counts for that. So I have one student that's gone from a B to an A. I had one that went from a C to a B, one from a C to a B+, etc. Next one is grade distribution by activity. So when I run that report, it asks me how many visits should a student have to be accepted as a participant. So then how many visits into my center should be counted so the student shows as participant versus non-participant. So I'll keep that at 3. And it says, do I want to include grades that do not have a corresponding GPA? Well, I'll say no. Okay, but here's what we're seeing now. Here's my English comp. Remember, participant has come in at least 3 times to my center. Non-participant has not. Now, I don't have a lot of participants. I could have adjusted that. But from non-participants, I had 2 that got an A, B, or C. Oh, I'm sorry. I had 2 that had a B, 1 that had a B+, 3 total that I've had an A, B, or C. If I go down to my math course, I had 4 Bs, 1 B+, 1 C, total of 6 A, B, or Cs. Next, grade distribution by profile. Remember, the profile fields are the 10 fields you can attach to a student record. So then I can correspond my grades to whatever profile field I'd like. So let's say based on major, for example. And remember, participant, non-participant. But here are my various majors. So of my computer science majors, participants, 3 of them have gotten a B, 4 have gotten a B+, 1 has gotten a C, for a grand total of 8. So these are the various majors that are collected in that profile field. If I changed that report, I could pick a different profile field. For example, maybe classification. Okay, so now I have my various classifications. Of my grad students, 2 participants got a B. Of my juniors, 2 have gotten a B as well. Non-degree seeking, seniors, etc., and then total count. Now, I don't have a lot of data in here, but you get the idea. And then who are my students who have earned an A or a B? So it shows the student, it shows the class, and then it shows their final grade if it's A, B, or C.